as a lot of you guys at home probably already know now, Vergil won in about 2.5 minutes, I think it was.
It was 2.5, yeah.
Yeah, with some stoppage time that was a little controversial, let's say, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, you caught him a few times, and you know, he was beaten up in the corner. The ref made the decision to call it. And a lot of people will say it was a premature stoppage. I think the writing was on the wall. Either way you look at it, it looked like Vergil was about to handle the man anyway, in true fashion. But well, why don't you speak to it a little bit, man?
Yeah, so, you know, first of all, I felt really strong. This is the strongest I had felt in, you know, any weight cut week in any camp. You know, after a year and a half off, you know, we were kind of worried about how I was going to look, how I was going to feel. But no, I was 110%, you know, better than ever. And, you know, just going into the ring, you know, let's backtrack. Weigh-in week, you know, fight week, you know, I'm happy. You know, I'm happy to be here, you know, doing the press conferences. Usually I hate doing interviews, you know. I hate talking to people I don't really have the energy to talk to. But, you know, I had all the energy in the world and all that stuff. But when it came to 30 minutes before the fight, I was all business, you know. Yeah. I really wasn't smiling or nothing. I was just like, you know what, this is for all the people talking shit online, you know, saying that I'm undisciplined and all this. So, you know, get into the ring, all business, and we just took care of business. You know, I felt so strong where I wasn't really throwing punches hard, but they were hurting him.
Yeah.
And like you said, like, it only lasted like 2.5 minutes, and I would say around the 2-minute mark, you know, I caught him with like a jab, stepping back. You know, my momentum's going backwards, and I hurt him with the jab. It was already over.
Yeah.
Like, I could feel it over. So I jump on him, I catch him with the body shot. 20 continuous punches, no response. He's on the ropes, ref stops it.
Yeah.
The ref's job in the boxing ring is to protect us fighters, you know, from getting too hurt. You know, we can be hurt, but if you're too hurt and you're not responding, then you know what I mean? Like, that's his job. So, I mean...
Yeah, it's there for safety so people don't die in the ring, which has unfortunately happened, as everyone knows. But, you know, you don't want to be on that side of it. You know, you take the early stoppage in a moment like this as opposed to someone getting actually really devastatingly fucked up in the ring, right? I mean, you'd rather have that on your conscience, giving everyone blue balls rather than, you know, killing somebody, you know?
Exactly, yeah, you know, so, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's a sport, you know, it's a competition. I don't hate the other guy, so I want him to go back to his family, you know, and I want to go back to mine.
Exactly. I mean, it's all about the competition, man. And like they were saying, I'm glad you brought up, you were still feeling it out. Like, I mean, 2 minutes in, you're still feeling it out and causing damage while you're still feeling it out. Again, you're coming back after a year and a half since your last fight, maybe even a little bit more, because that one was like in August of 22, right? Yeah. I was watching that one when I was in Newcastle on my phone at a bar. I was watching that when I was sick. But yeah, it was coming back from that, like all the commentators they're talking, I'm watching and everyone's talking about it. It's like, yeah, he's probably going to take some time. You know, he's not going to come swinging off the fence. Too mature, too smart. They're talking about you, of course, Vergil. Yeah. And which makes sense. You come out, and that's got to be hard. You know, I was watching it and listening to the commentary and trying to put myself in your shoes, right? And I think I can in some small way. After being away, as you know, being in Avenged Sevenfold, we were away for like 6 years in between shows. And although it's not the same, you know, not going into a fucking combat, but, you know, just that adrenaline, right? Coming back to something that you love, that you were put on this earth to do. Mm-hmm. A lot of emotions, a lot of adrenaline going. How hard was it for you to hold back a little bit and feel out the ring again and start to feel out an opponent rather than just coming out there and like hyped and just, I'm going to maul this motherfucker?
Man, it honestly wasn't even that hard.
Really?
Because, you know, I spar a lot, and I was sparring, you know, some good competition, you know, some good up and comers, you know, some old people that have a lot of experience. And so mentally I was ready. You know, it's just the physically part. Just like, you know, maybe there might be a little bit of ring rust, you know, who knows. But the first round is usually always the same. You know, I try to feel them out first, you know. And
is it now, as a layman, is just like a guy watching, if you, a lot of boxers, I mean, most boxers that I see, or most boxing that I see, to your point, round one is feeling each other out, right?
Yeah.
You gotta, what's your game plan? What have you been working on? Right? Is that kind of mentality?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's just seeing how you're gonna react, trying to get their you know, their rhythm. You know, because there's a lot of rhythm that goes on. You know, some people can have different rhythms. I hate sparring MMA fighters because their rhythm is just like it's just completely different. You know, it doesn't even make sense to me. You know, so like, you know, you just have to fill out the rhythm. You kind of have to like get on their wavelength or make them get onto yours.
Right.
You know, so
is that a strategy to try to get them on your wavelength?
Yeah, I would say most of the battle would be that subconsciously. You don't even know it. You're not thinking it. You're just like trying to get them to fall for your traps.
Right. Well, that makes sense when you put it that way. It's interesting though, because as a layman, just a fan, like watching, I'm just like, you think you know, like you watch enough boxing, you know, all of us at home who are, you know, into combat sports or sports in general, even if you never played the sport, you sit there and you do the armchair, commentating, and you're like, oh, he's doing this. You really don't fucking know. Like, I don't fucking know what's in Vergil's head when he's going in there, but you try to put yourself in those perspectives. So take me through this fight specifically, that first round before it gets called. Like, what were you feeling rhythmically? What were you feeling what was he giving you?
So at first, I could definitely feel that he was trying to kind of take control at first. You know, he was throwing some jabs. He was throwing some okay jabs. I think we exchanged jabs a couple of times. And I think he had a lot of confidence to begin with. And I was just like, I need to disrupt that. You know, if you disrupt the signal from, you know, his brain to his muscles to make him unsure of himself, then he's gonna hesitate. He's not gonna know what to do. So I was just throwing some quick jabs here and there. And then I was just like, I'm going to throw a hard-ass right hook to the body just to scare him. Yeah. Because, you know, no one likes to get hit to the body. I don't care who you are. If you can't breathe, you can't fight. You can't do anything. Right. So I hit him one real good time to the body. I knew it wasn't going to land flush, just to scare him right here on the elbow. And he felt it, and he started moving.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of like the famous quote from Mike Tyson, right? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Exactly, you know?
But a punch to the body in this case.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, even for me too, you know, like you can work on all this stuff in the locker room, all, you know, 2 months, even in the gym, you can work for it for 2 months just for the fight. But you really don't know what to expect or what you're going to do until you get into the ring, because it's not a script.
No, and it's correct me if I'm wrong here. It's a bit of a dance when you're talking about rhythm and everything, and getting on, finding their wavelength, finding how you can disrupt it, where you're going to find your rhythm as opposed to his, and how you're gonna use it to your advantage. It's a bit of a dance, no?
Yeah, exactly. You know, you might try to step on his toes a little bit just to throw him off of his game, so your game can work better. He's gonna try to do the same. So it's about fighting who can dance better.